Hey guys, thanks for everyone who's listening. I just wanted to apologize. There's been a delay with episodes coming out, inconsistency and all that. There's just been a lot of hiccups with moving into this new studio and all that. But next week we should start officially filming at the Creek in the Cave, launching a whole network there. It's gonna be fucking awesome. It's gonna be great. The product and quality of the podcast continue to grow, and we're going to start having more consistent release back to the weekly release. So thank you for anyone who supported us on this journey. Enjoy the episode. Just want to give you guys a quick update, and thank you again.
Welcome back to the Our Last Resort podcast. It's episode 144 with me and my with your hosts. I always fuck up how to say that.
Yeah.
We're both we're both co-hosts. It's us, fuckers, and it's episode 144. And our guest this week was Nick Cox.
Love Nick.
This was the one we did last week. This got cut off, so no one saw this. So there was just no intro last week. I just put it on the screen for people watching.
Okay.
So this is the first time they're hearing this. Basically, I think from here on out, guys, the episode's going to start off with a funny moment. We'll give you a quick, short intro, and then you'll get into the episode with the guest. This week, our guest, he's super hilarious comedian. Yeah. He's co-creator of it's called TV Sketch Show.
I've been in it.
He's been on it. Dude, it's actually like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I should check out both episodes, and I watched them, and like, all our friends make a lot of stuff. This was like it's genuinely so good.
It's good.
My favorite skit. Good. Check out the one. It's the one you're in, where the guy can't stop speaking in stereotypes.
I play a Jew.
He plays a Jew.
First role, and it was a Jew, and I'm pretty proud of it.
Yeah.
I was pretty happy about it.
Dude, great episode. I think we talk about fast food for 40 minutes on this episode.
We did.
And here's the thing: if you like food, you're gonna love this episode because it wasn't like robotic fast food talk. Like, we got passionate. We talked about classics. I'm sure if you're listening, you're gonna have some moments where you're screaming at us because we're forgetting some of the best fast food things to mention.
I definitely was like genuinely more locked into this conversation than any conversation I've had.
I really might start having fast food oriented questions every episode.
Yes, because it was like you have such strong opinions about it. It was great. It's great.
Yeah, it was a super fun episode, guys. Please make sure you rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast. It really helps. Leave a review. Leave a nice one. Say some nice things. All that stuff.
He's cute.
We got T-shirts and hoodies if you want them. Stickers. We'll ship them out anywhere you want if you're looking for merch. Otherwise, guys, thank you so much for supporting. Enjoy the episode with Nick Cox.
Thanks,
episode
guys.
144. See ya. Was that the place that we went for the Hattie B's thing?
Yeah, that was the Crumb Snatches.
Yeah, dude, that
Crumb
music
Snatches.
venue fucking rocks. We saw they were doing like a Hattie B's free chicken. They were just giving away like.
Is Hattie B's opening a location?
They
right
are
now?
opening one in South Lamar, which I'm super hyped for. But they were just like, it was like Hattie B's times like Oh Boy Records. They were doing like a little giveaway thing. You'd wait in line. You got like 2 pieces of chicken and banana pudding, and then they had just like a bunch of local Nashville bands, and it fucking rocked. We saw this band called the Crumb Snatchers, and they had like the sickest shirt, and now I love their music. Like, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Pretty sweet. They have crazy banana pudding. That shit was insane.
Dude, yeah, Hattie B's is so
pudding.
good.
Yeah, they have. I mean, I was in Nashville before here.
Oh right, yeah,
I lived in Nashville before here. I'm from Memphis, but there's a Hattie B's in Memphis too that opened there probably like 6 years ago, maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. So yeah, I've had Hattie B's a bunch. Hattie B's is good. I don't think it's like incredible, but I like it.
Yeah.
But I'm more partial to Gus's, which is a Memphis.
We have a Gus's here, right?
Now there's a
Is it
Gus's
related
here.
to that one?
No, but it's just in my mind. If
We
people
talk to
are
this side of the mic too.
this side.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. I didn't know if it was backwards. Okay.
The Gus is here is
Gus-
different.
I haven't had the Gus's here, but I've talked to other people that like it's fucking awesome, and I'm just partial to like if I'm gonna have kind of spicy chicken from around where I'm from, I'm gonna have that one as opposed to Hattie B's.
Well, you were around the bet. Like, Hattie B's is good because I told you I lived in Kentucky, which was like the closest city was Nashville, so we'd go a lot. So I tried a lot of the more like non-commercial. Like Hattie B's is definitely like the commercial version a little bit. It's not like McDonald's level, but there's like
Yeah, I mean it's like a
5
chain. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a chain.
It's like a
That's
chain
a better way
now,
to put it. Yeah.
It's like a small chain, but I guess now, I mean, if they're having them all the way down here, it's not even that small.
Dude, yeah,
of a
there's
chain.
one in Vegas. There's one in Dallas. There's
Wow.
going to be one in Austin, Nashville, Memphis. They're starting to.
Yeah.
Hot chicken's so popular now.
The weird thing about hot chicken as a like as a food genre
Yeah.
is that it doesn't mean the same thing place to place, even in Nashville.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you're like, if you go somewhere and they're like, this place has the best Nashville hot chicken. If you have a like Nashville hot chicken at Hattie B's and then you have it again at like a different place in Nashville, you might be getting something that's so dramatically different that you wouldn't even think like.
Right.
Because sometimes when they say hot chicken, it's like a sauce, and sometimes it's just like a dry rub.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's totally different place to place. So
The only hot
like,
chicken I've had is the dry rub one.
Yeah, I feel like that's. I mean, it usually is, but it's like even like the confines of what that food is just purely like, is it chicken and is it spicy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't have to have the same.
Yeah, it doesn't have
spice,
the same
have
flavor
to,
profile. Yeah,
Right. Yeah.
Because there's another place that it's right. I lived right across the street from it. And it looked so fucking cool. It's called Bolton's Hot Chicken. It's like Bolton's Hot Chicken and Fish.
Oh shit.
And it's. I guess it's. I mean, I would assume it's
Hot
still
chicken
there.
and fish.
Yeah, this place is legit. It's like a hot chicken and like catfish and shit.
In Nashville?
Yeah, and it
Okay.
was like it's on Main Street in East Nashville. It's really cool, like looking,
Yeah.
and it's still a cool place. Like when you go in there, like it's very like authentic. Like this place is like not changed.
Yeah.
I mean, at least that's the way it seems. I didn't grow up in Nashville, but
Yeah.
it's like a cool place, and you go there and you get their food, and it's like their version of hot chicken is they're just like it's not like complex or particularly interesting flavors.
Mm-hmm.
Your face just it burns and it
It's
swells.
just hot.
Your lips literally like swell up, and you're like, I can't use my mouth. Like to the point where it's like you eat it, and then like you feel it just burning you at every step through your fucking
Fuck that.
intestines. Like it's so brutal. And then like they have that, and so that's the weird thing is that place to place is just totally different.
Yeah, well, because hot chicken, right around the time that I went to school out in Kentucky, it kind of started to reach global because there's that place in LA called, I wish I remember what they're called. The Howlin' Rays is like the famous
of
one
that,
in
yeah.
LA. And there's if you go on any busy time, like lunch or dinner, any day of the week, there's like a 2-hour line. It's so fucking long. It's crazy. It's absurd. But what sucks too is like there's all these shitty versions that popped up of it around California because like it's such a melting pot. They're like we gotta have everything, and they're just like all the ones I tried were just grease balls that fucked your stomach up. Like it wasn't enjoyable. It almost instantly made you sick to your stomach.
Yeah, and I will say though, there even some of like my favorite hot chicken in Nashville is a place called Prince's.
That's my favorite too. Dude.
Yeah, Prince's
amazing.
is the
Yes,
shit.
yes.
And there's like multiple locations there, but like Prince's is awesome, is hot as fuck.
Yes.
It's like there's tiers, but even the mild is pretty fucking hot.
Mm-hmm.
I would get like medium, but then like halfway through every time I'd be like, this probably was a mistake.
Yeah.
Well,
Can
the
we
first
switch, bro?
The
Are
first
you
time I
sure?
had it, I ate. The first time I had it, I get to this. They had like a food truck in like a brewery. There's
Yeah.
a Prince's food truck, and I get there, and my friends are there, and they had already eaten, and I saw it like there was a hot sticker on
Yeah.
the thing, so I was like, shit, they got hot, I guess, and it was the first time I'd ever had it,
Uh-huh.
so I ordered hot, and then I just sit down and I get it, and I'm like, holy fucking shit, this is the hottest chicken I've ever had, but I just take it. And
Yeah.
I don't say anything because I'm like, I'm not gonna be the one pussy who doesn't.
Yeah,
fucking
I'm a
say
good
Yeah.
little bitch.
It's so I was weird. I didn't think that I was like that kind of like I'm fucking tough. I'll eat a hot chicken, but I did. And I'm
Yeah,
eating this
dude.
whole thing, and it's so painful. And at the end, I'm like kind of full, so it's just sort of sitting there. And she was like, "Hey, can I have some of yours?" And she's like, "Yeah." She takes a bite. She's like, "Holy fuck, this is so hot." And I was like, "It's the same as yours was." And then she was like, she looks at it and she's like, "Oh no, I got the mild. That sticker was just here on the table."
Oh.
And it was just and I'm just like sitting there trying to tough it out to be like, I can have hot chicken too. I'm not a pussy.
I tried like when I went to Hattie B's one time. I got their hottest one, like the Shut the Cluck Up or whatever it's
Yeah.
called.
Good name.
And great name, great
Good
fucking name.
Good name.
But immediately I was just like, why?
Yeah.
Like there's no joy to it. Instantly your tongue is
It's
numb.
not. I think that the really hot ones like that, they're not supposed to be eaten. Like you said,
They're
because when I
novelties.
ordered the hot one at Prince's, she was like, "Are you sure?" 'Cause she was like, "Because it's supposed to be there as like a man versus food kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not supposed to like just have that as a meal."
Totally. There's definitely that one level where it gets set where it's like, this is just silly. This is no longer for joy.
Yeah, because it's like the mild and medium. Like those are like hot and also like edible. Like it's like you can see how like the medium. You're like, this is fucking hot, but I've eaten it a bunch of times and it's like it's doable. But yeah, those other ones are just there to be like, oh, you think you like fucking hot chicken? You piece of shit?
Well, there's people too. There are that select breed of people who can just take on the hottest shit, and they're almost unfazed by. They enjoy it. They're weirdos.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just like you just like a masochist for food.
Yeah, there was. I'll never forget. One time I was in a Popeyes, and I'm waiting for my food. And this dude just taps me on the shoulder. He's just like an old black dude in like a construction worker outfit, boots, the neon reflective vest. And he's just like, hey, you ever had like real Louisiana hot sauce? And I was just like, no. And he's like, you want to try some? And I just have this urge for everyone to like me. So I was like, yeah, sure, dude. I'll have some. And then
you think he put crack in it or something?
No, bro. I remember when I walked in, the waiter behind the counter, I thought, I was like, this guy's so nervous. Like, he's all jittery and he's sweating. Like, what the fuck is this guy's problem? And I get some of the hot sauce and I take it, bro. He gives me like on my finger. I put it in my mouth. Instant, like, burned, like, this was a mistake. He's already, like, giggling at me maniacally. He's like, ha, 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 ha. And I was like, what's happening? And he's like, you're going to want to get by the water over there. And I, like, ran over and started chugging the water.
Water doesn't fucking help, though,
It
dude.
does not help.
It just puts it everywhere, like, in your mouth. Like,
yeah, it made it work. I drank, like, 5 cups of water in, like, 5 minutes. I got sick from drinking the water. By the time my food was ready, I didn't want it. My stomach was so fucked up. And then I realized, I looked back up at the guy behind the register, and he was still sweating, and I was like, oh, dude, this guy's going around getting people in the restaurant to try this. And I turned, and there was another poor dude that he was getting to try the hot sauce, just laughing at him. And then he sat down and put it on every bite of his chicken and rice, like a psychopath.
I mean, I guess if I'm just like a guy working at a restaurant and I have nothing else
work.
to do. Oh, he didn't work there?
He didn't work there. This guy is just there to have chicken.
That
yeah.
changes this whole story.
Yeah, he was in the
was
construction vest. Like, he was like,
guy.
he walked into Popeyes with his own hot sauce and was like, let me fuck some people up.
Wait.
Yes.
I didn't realize you were just in pop. For
Yes.
some reason, I heard when I heard this,
we're on
I
the same
painted.
page.
Yeah, I painted this as you were just in some like Louisiana like
No,
hole
bro.
in the wall.
I'm in a Popeyes in Santa Ana, California
Oh,
when this
what
happened.
the fuck?
This is a totally different. I somehow filled in all these gaps and
Me
put
too.
something
I was like,
very
you guys
different.
are so
I
unimpressed
was
by
like,
this
I thought
weirdo.
this guy was speaking
This
Creole
is way,
to you.
yeah,
like,
this is way crazy. I thought you.
No.
you gonna try my hot
Yeah, in
dog?
my mind, you were
boy?
in like New Orleans doing all this.
Nope, couldn't
is
have
way
been
different.
farther from New Orleans. And it was,
Oh
and
my
he
God.
was just a villain, bro.
Yeah,
he was a real life villain.
He brought his own hot sauce to
Yes.
fucking Popeyes?
Yes, and not just like Tabasco, like an insane.
Did
like,
it have a label on it, or was it?
Dude,
he
it just
made
said like
this?
real Louisiana hot sauce with like XXX, and the whole label was black. Like I don't know what it was. It was.
That's so weird.
I went to this. There's a burger place in Memphis called Elbow. It's like LBOE, the last burger on earth. It's all like gimmick burgers. It's like different. Like they have like a few normal things, and most of it is just like weird, random shit. And this, and I went with my friend and her little her little brother went with us, and so this was like a few years ago, and her little brother had like just turned 21, and he went with like 2 or 3 of his like frat bro friends. Like I don't know that they were in a fraternity, but that was their like vibe.
Yeah.
And so they came and they're like ordering beer like with their own IDs for the first time and very like, oh, fuck yeah, dude, like that kind of vibe.
Nice.
And so they all ordered. They had like a challenge, like a spicy burger, and it was like covered in roasted habaneros and ghost peppers.
Oh.
So it was like they were like, and I mean like when I say covered, I mean like it was like piled up like with an inch of them. Like it was as many ghost peppers as there was like patty.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Yeah, it was not supposed to be food.
Do you win like a prize?
I don't really know.
You're just cool. They're
It's
like,
I don't really
You paid
know.
$30 to have like terrible diarrhea for the next week?
Yeah, I don't really know what the intended. I mean, these guys were the audience, I guess. They're just dudes who wanted to be like, I can fucking do it. And so the 3 of them got it. 2 of them, like the brother and one of his friends, they take a bite, and immediately they're like, "Oh, that's crazy. Well, I'm done with that."
Yeah.
They're like, "Well, we did it," and then they ordered something else. But then the third guy, he's like, "I'm fucking fine. I got it. He's like this little dude. He's like super sweaty. He's eating it. He gets like 4 or 5 bites in, and he's like sweating hard.
Yeah.
And after like 4 or 5 bites, his nose starts to bleed. Like a lot. Like it not like it's like you ever really seen someone who just gets nosebleeds? Like all of a sudden it's just like pours out of their face.
So he's
I'm looking over at this dude. He's sitting across the table from me. He takes a bite, and all of a sudden it's just like
He drank
it just-
poison?
no, it's clearly this dude must have just gotten nosebleed, like been prone to that, and then there was so much blood rushing to his face because it was so hot that it just burst something, and it just all of a sudden there's blood running out of his nose, and he's like, and everyone's like, oh shit, and the waiter runs over, he's like, I'm so sorry, this has never happened.
That is so
It
cool.
was so funny because the whole time he's trying to be cool, be like, I'm actually fine, and then it just starts to die.
That's crazy.
It was
Dude,
crazy.
holy
Hot
shit.
chicken makes you go 11, huh? That's
No, this was
bad.
just a hot
This was a
burger.
burger. This was just a
Oh,
burger covered
right,
in ghost
right,
peppers.
right.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah, I don't get people. I just don't get doing the challenge stuff unless it's some shit where you win like $20 or like $30. But I
You
can't
put your
imagine
name up on the thing, your face and
wasting
name.
money. You're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go drop $30 so I can have a picture on the wall at this restaurant that no one gives a flying fuck about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also a weird place to go for like your first beer at 21.
Well, I don't know that it was his first. I don't know that it was
Yeah,
first.
yeah.
I know that's how old he was, but it's certainly like
Yeah.
I don't think it was their first, but it certainly was that they had the air of being like, we're out doing new shit, dude. We're
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
about town, you know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know. It was crazy, but
I'm gonna go tell Barty to shut the fuck up. He's starting to get picked up in the audio. What a cunt.
Yeah.
All right, we're back in. Sorry, guys. The dog was fucking barking. I'm sure you kind of heard it in the end there, but we got him to shut up for the
A
moment.
little wild.
Yeah.
Wild
Hey, all right. So we were talking about the burger that made your friend's nose bleed. I actually had this written down. I was arguing this with my friends back home. Dale, you're gonna have to kind of like dig into your memories because it's
Yeah.
back to when you ate meat.
Right.
Do you guys have a favorite fast food burger? Like, what do you think the best
I-
fast food burger is? And
I want you to be
exclude-
honest with me. Did you know that when I was coming over here, you're like, all right, we're gonna primarily talk to Nick about fast food.
No, I didn't. It's actually the only food topic I have written
Okay,
down.
because it's kind of all I ever. It's like 90% of my act most
I
of the
remember
time.
you saying that.
It's
I'm
just
sorry,
kinda
I'm
who I am.
sorry.
That's fine. If you did, that's cool that you did the research. But
Yeah. We know that you do like fast food,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
that wasn't the point.
Okay, cool.
I
It
felt
is funny
yeah.
that we randomly did just instantly without a prompt
Yeah.
started talking
Yeah,
about
yeah, 'cause they're like,
Yeah.
it started on hot chicken. I was like, I guess if I didn't bring it up, it's fine.
Yeah. Hey, you didn't bring either of these up. I just was literally. What's funny is I remember we were hanging out at Kat's birthday, and you were literally talking to me about. You're like, yeah, I talk about fast food too much. It's like 90% of my act, and I forgot when I made this, but we were arguing about this, and I feel like because a lot of people would be mad if I didn't say like In-N-Out as my favorite burger, but I feel like that's slightly a step above like fast food burger. You know,
That's something that somebody who grew up with In-N-Out would say.
do you not? Hey, I'm being genuine. Do
Yeah.
you not? You don't gotta get so
no, no,
aggressive, all right, dude? I didn't shit on your hot
I like
chicken.
it. I like it. Hot chicken, I also feel no connection to because Memphis and Nashville are very
Yeah.
like.
Different.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I
not a
mean-
lot of cultural
Oh yeah,
overlap there.
If you've been to each place, you know they are not the same.
They're not the same
whatsoever.
place. Yeah,
Uh,
there's a lot more barbecue connection for me.
yeah. We could talk barbecue after. I'll
Yeah.
talk food
We'll-
the whole
we'll-
episode.
we'll
yeah.
get
we'll
there.
get
We'll
there.
get
But yeah. So fast. I mean, I guess if you want to consider In-N-Out, I was more
Yeah.
thinking like because In-N-Out's not
In-N-Out's fast food.
universal. I'm thinking more like Burger King, McDonald's,
Yeah.
Wendy's,
The big
like
boys.
Yeah.
like the famous, the big dogs, top
International,
dogs.
yeah.
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 I guess we could include In-N-Out. Maybe
I get what you're saying though. In-N-Out, everyone has had like a Whopper, but a lot like 2/3 of the country haven't had an In-N-Out burger.
Yeah. Dude, my favorite burger, fast food burger, is the Quarter Pounder with cheese from McDonald's. I don't know if that it's so good. It's seasoned well. I get it. It's a little thin, but most fast food burgers are. The bun's great. The sesame seed bun, like Quarter Pounder with cheese is easily my favorite.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Quarter Pounders are good. I feel like McDonald's burgers have something about them, and I think it's maybe McDonald's bread that makes them not. It doesn't register as like a burger in my mind.
I actually know exactly what you mean, and it is the bread.
Yeah.
Because even like sometimes if you have like a McChicken or two, your body's kind of like, what the fuck are
Yeah,
we
yeah.
eating?
I like it, and
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's like it doesn't. whenever I eat it, it doesn't feel like it's the same thing as any other burger because it's like whatever the preservatives or I don't know
Maybe
if
that's why I like it.
or I don't know if
That's
it's
the
just
thing about
seasoning, but-
McDonald's. It's kind of how like Chick-fil-A is just different.
Yeah.
Like McDonald's has its own flavor by every single
lot of-
item they have. It's their own
there's also
thing.
something about like there's this faint onion flavor in a lot of their burgers and stuff. That's
Yeah.
like it's something people don't think about. It's like this tiny little bit of like onioniness that I feel like is not present in a lot of other people's stuff. That makes
I use
it
a
like-
lot of onion powder. I bet you, like when
Yeah.
they season it and shit, because it's not like a natural onion
Yeah.
flavor.
No, it's like
It's a mass produced.
it's a
for
vaguely reminds you of an onion flavor.
Sure. Yeah.
I think one that the Wendy's burger is pretty good too. The
I was
square
Wendy's
gonna
might be my
say,
burgers.
favorite.
When I was like big in high school, especially, I would get a Wendy's Baconator like at
those are
least twice.
I want
3
one
times a
right
week.
now, right? God, that dude,
I
the
think-
Wendy's
square
Baconators
patties
with the square
I
patties.
never really
they're
get baconators.
insane.
I always would just get like the double, like the Wendy's double.
Yeah.
But the baconators are incredible. But there's something about like, well, a couple things. First off, if you order it and you can see the calorie count next to it,
Oof.
Yeah.
and you don't like make it a conscious choice to avoid that with your eyes.
Yeah.
The baconator is like on its own like a whole day's worth
I'm
of
gonna look
calories.
it up right now.
It's like
It's like 2,000 calories or something. It's something
gotta,
fucking
yeah,
insane.
I think it's like 1,800, I believe. If
Yeah.
you don't add shit, and you're gonna
Yeah.
have fries, and you're gonna
Yeah.
get a drink,
Or if you
know.
put like ketchup on it, and then you're like, all right, well that's it. And,
that added 3,000 extra calories somehow.
and also adding all the bacon, like that much bacon to a burger that's already like greasy.
yeah,
It does make you feel fucking horrible.
The single
grease of it.
baconator, which a lot of their whole thing, do they have
Oh,
like
you
the
get a-
triple
you get a
baconator?
double
A
Baconator,
single
that's-
baconator by itself is 1,000 calories alone. Just
Okay.
the burger, just one
And you're not
singular
gonna get
patty.
and you're not gonna get a single, and you're not gonna not have fries and a drink.
It also says that it says 600 of the 1,000 calories are calories from fat, which is
good.
like way worse.
That's the thing about adding bacon to it, right? It's all
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
all
all fat.
grease and fat. Yeah.
38 grams of carbohydrates, 58 grams of protein, 63 grams of total fat. There's more fat than protein.
So it's good for keto people, is what you're
Yes,
saying.
yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's
We should
funny.
go keto and eat only bacon.
When I was
You're like you want to put ketchup on that, and you're like, I'm not a fat piece of shit.
Could you
Thanks.
put butter, please?
it had 56 grams of protein in it.
Yeah.
That's not.
I mean,
bad.
it's all meat. Yeah, it's a lot of meat.
God. My brother would he was on the football team at my high school, and they sold these like the fundraiser thing. They would sell coupon books.
Oh,
And with
yeah,
one of
those
these
are the
coupon
shit.
books, you could get a free Baconator, an unlimited free Baconator coupon.
Wait,
and so
wait,
they had
what?
to cancel
That's
this.
insane. Yeah.
Yes.
They didn't. Wait. Explain.
It was crazy, dude. So what you would do, you would buy this like little sheet of
Mm-hmm.
coupons.
Yeah. We had to sell those in football too. But like,
Yes.
what do you mean unlimited?
So anytime that you came in, if you bought one, you would get one free.
Oh, BOGO for life with
Li-
Baconators.
They had to fucking cancel
Jesus
them in any
Christ.
time. So like they did it for a season,
Mm-hmm.
and so many people got free Baconators.
Especially
Like-
if they're selling them to like high school kids.
and it was right next to our school.
Yeah, also-
it was right
that's a
next to our
problem.
school.
In a poor area, Reno, Nevada, you
Oh.
can now feed 2 people for the price of 1. Like that is.
That was like during lunch, every single person on campus would go to Wendy's and get a Baconator and get one for their friend. It was the
Oh.
best. Yeah, it was.
That's the worst business decision I've ever. We
They
had the same thing, but with Jamba Juice, where they did buy one get one
Yes.
free, and they were like, "This was a fucking mistake." Yeah.
They had to like because you could put it on like a key ring.
yes.
They would if you had it still and tried to use it, they'd be like, "Give it to me. We're gonna cut it."
Oh,
This is not-
wow.
this
So they
is
didn't
not
replace
valid.
it. They weren't like, well, we can't do that anymore. But here's what we can do instead. Nothing like
Fuck no. They were like, okay, go fuck yourself. You're trying to ruin our business. We've sold 9,000
You're like, yeah,
free
you're fucking
Baconators."
Wendy's. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Also, though, whoever
was
came up
crazy.
with that promotion got fired.
Yeah, that's just on them. That's a very I don't know what they thought was gonna happen.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
That-
were they not selling enough Baconators, or like what the fuck? Because bacon also everywhere you go, it's extra to add bacon because bacon's not cheap. So you're already giving away what's probably one of the more expensive burgers they have.
Yeah.
Because I think with bacon, it's with a burger you can have so many fillers and other things because it's processed. But bacon is just like a strip of meat.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just fake it.
Yeah, but some of that like fake bacon you get is such like I love Jack in the Box, but anything they put
I kind of
bacon
think
on is
everything
dog
at
shit.
Jack in the Box, it's cool. I've been there and I've had things I liked, but everything does like suck.
Yeah,
Is that fair to say? I also
It's
didn't
fair.
I didn't grow up with Jack in the Box. Like they didn't. There's some in Tennessee, but they just didn't have them in like Memphis.
yeah.
And so I didn't have it for the first time until I was older. So I had no like attachment or like nostalgia towards it.
And I can break off the fact that most of my love for it is nostalgia. Because where I lived, we had like a Taco Bell around the corner. So as a kid, you know, when my grandparents would pick me up and needed a cheap meal, 2 tacos for 99 cents
Yeah,
was
for
like the
sure.
shit. When I
You
was
mean
in
Jack in the Box?
Yeah, when I was in
okay.
high school, like, you know, going there late night, like that, I liked it for that reason. But I also, like, the more I have it as an adult, especially when I'm a sober adult,
Yeah.
I'm like, what am I doing?
Dude, because the menu is insane, which I think is kind of fun. But
Dude,
it's,
you can get a
it's
chicken
like a diner
teriyaki bowl and an
menu.
egg roll.
Yeah, like a chicken teriyaki bowl, an egg roll, a dozen mini tacos,
A New York
and a burger
cheesecake?
for like $4. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah.
it's
It's
wild.
ridiculous.
Like there's a I don't know if you guys have ever. It's like a southeast or like south or like East Coast and Southeast chain called Cookout. I don't know if you guys have ever had that.
Dude, Cookout, I fucking love Cookout.
Cookout rips. Cookout's
Never
kind
heard
of
of
like
this.
Cookout's like a higher quality and slightly less insane, but insanely cheap version of Jack in the Box. So like, and just in the way that their menu, you're like, wait, I can get all this shit together.
Yeah.
So Cookout has they say they're just like trays is what like they're advertised as, and they have like. So the way it'll work is your tray will be like okay, can I get a double cheeseburger? Because they just changed the price. It was everything was $5. Now it's like $6.50.
So it's
or
like a
something.
box.
But it's a box, but you're like, let me get
yeah.
a burger, and on you have all these side options, and then so on the side, some of your options are like chicken nuggets.
All right, I got the
or-
Cookout tray menu pulled up. I don't know if you can
That's
see it
like
from
that's
there.
like a quarter of the menu though, dude.
This is just it's so much bigger. But
you can get a quesadilla on the side.
Yeah, you can get a quesadilla as your side, then you can get a big double burger and a spicy chicken sandwich, and then it was and you could get a shake for $1 extra. So I would go there.
You go spend
my
$7
God.
and you're gonna get a burger, a chicken quesadilla, Cajun fries, and a cheesecake chocolate shake, and it's gonna be $6.
And you could mix you could do like Snickers Butterfinger brownie, and they would do it for you, bro.
It's amazing.
They had one in Murray.
Is this like a Sonic situation more, or is it
No,
like
no.
No,
It's just a normal. It's just a normal drive-through,
regular
like
drive-thru.
restaurant. Yeah.
Huh.
It was funny because in Murray you'd be like you'd go out to a parties would be popping, and then you'd go to Cookout at 2 a.m. and it would be like the poppin' after party. There'd be 50 to 100 people there. You'd be like, there's the girls' soccer team, there's the volleyball team, there's the football. And dude, there were shootings in the parking lot, fist fights. It was crazy.
Cookout rips, and Cookout also was the only like, you know, like right after COVID, like lockdowns, or during, I guess. Everywhere that was open late just stopped being open late. You'd be like, "Oh, McDonald's closes
Yeah.
at 9 now."
Yeah,
You'd be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
What the fuck? So like in Nashville, Cookout was the only place that was still like open past midnight.
Yeah.
So if you, I mean, I did it several times, but there was a Cookout close to our house in Nashville, and we would go there at like, you know, after a bar closed or whatever at 2 a.m, and there's a line like down the fucking.
Oh yeah, and
block.
everyone in that line's just hammered.
Yeah, dude.
Sobering up.
I've waited for 45 minutes
Yeah.
in line at Cookout multiple times, but it rules. And Cookout's burgers are also like, it's not like Jack in the Box where shit sucks. Like Cookout's burgers are like halfway between like because they're very they're not like crazy high quality, but they're not like fast food style burgers.
Yeah, they're a little
like
bit thicker.
thicky?
They actually remind me more of like Five Guys burgers.
That's what I mean. That's what I was gonna say. They're like not quite Five Guys quality, but they're like close to that.
Yeah, they're good. Like this place is good. Like it was.
But because of the way that they serve their shit in like styrofoam boxes,
Yeah, it
and
comes
the
in a-
and the aesthetic is it seems almost kind of rednecky.
Mm-hmm.
People will be like, the Cookout's quality is dog shit. But I'm like, if you had a blind taste test between that and Five Guys, you wouldn't necessarily be like, oh, this one tastes like it should cost 5 times as much.
100%. It is still definitely like drunk food. That is definitely better
Yeah.
drunk. Because I was in the road in Columbus, Georgia, and they had a Cookout, and I was like, oh my god! And I had Cookout at like 12, like
Yeah.
noon, like sober,
Yeah.
and I was just like, this is not as good. And I just got a
Yeah,
fuck ton
but
of food.
it's also though, I will say, if you had it for the first time sober, you might still be like, this is good.
Yeah.
But you're probably like attaching it to like all of the excitement of being a drunk 22-year-old,
Dude,
and you know.
Yes, there's a whole thing. Like I remember one of the first weekends I was out there, they were like, "You want to go to Cookout?" And I was like, "What's Cookout?" And they're like, "He doesn't know about Cookout."
Yeah.
Come on. But then
It's
I
exciting
remember
when you find out about it because it doesn't make sense.
it doesn't. But no one told me to order the tray when I first went. So I remember I just got like a BLT and fries, and I came back and I was like, "You fucking idiot! You didn't
Damn,
get a
dude.
tray, you dumb bitch!" And I was like, "Oh, I'm such a moron."
It
And then-
really is. I always forget that there's other ways to order there, and I feel
There
bad for the
shouldn't be.
people who don't know about.
Dude,
like-
my BLT and fries was like $4.50. The tray was 50 cents more, and I could have gotten 3 more sandwiches. Like, it's stupid.
You can get 2 corn dogs as your side.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah, just all the things. You can get 2 hot dogs, a spicy chicken sandwich, and a quesadilla and a milkshake for $6.
My thing was I would get it would cost a little extra because you get the big double burger and it costs like 50 cents more to add cheese
Yeah,
or something.
yeah.
And I would get that with like grilled onions and stuff on it, and it was
Ooh.
so fucking good. And then I would get a Cajun chicken wrap.
Dude, the wraps are gas.
Yeah,
They're
I would
so
either get the
good.
wrap. I would alternate between the wrap or the quesadilla, and then I would get the Cajun fries, which were kind of like not
Yeah.
like Five
Cajun
Guys
fries
Cajun
are great, yeah.
and then and then a shake. But the thing about their shakes, damn, I'm getting really in the weeds here with all the details about this place.
It's
But
okay, dude. I love
their shakes are
Cookout.
delicious, but it's kind of like a frosty.
You have to eat it with a spoon.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like-
you don't drink
Those are
them.
the best kind of shakes, I feel like, though.
It makes it so much more
It's-
gluttonous, though, dude.
Yeah, because you realize it's not even a drink. You just got like a quart of ice cream.
They serve you it with a spoon and a straw,
It's a
and you
soft
just
serve,
throw the
yeah.
straw away. Like
Yeah.
there's no point. Yeah, I would always get my go-to if I was gonna get it was I would get the quesadilla as a main, the chicken one, because you get 2 quesadillas, and then I would get the spicy chicken sandwich, and then the hush puppies, because those like help.
they have
soak-
hush puppies.
Yeah, those would help me soak up like how hammered I was.
Right.
And then I'd top it off with a banana Snickers milkshake, and
Oh
just
my
this,
God.
oh, so good. But that was
Banana
back when I was in
Snickers.
football too, so it was like.
You're gonna
Yes,
burn it
dude.
off the
Yeah,
next
like
day anyways,
you need to consume those 2,000 calories. I remember when I
at the end of the night.
yeah, well, probably not. Yeah, after I drank 1,000 calories in Jack and Cokes and
Yeah.
like, but I remember like a couple times I like cramped and like or in conditioning you threw up and then you would like they'd send you the trainer and stuff and he would be like, "You've lost a lot of electrolytes and calories. Go to Cookout." Like you'd get
Holy
prescribed
shit,
by
that's
the
the
doctor to
coolest.
cook. I'd be like,
Sounds
"I can
like-
just go to Cookout."
It sounds like if I was a doctor.
Yeah,
You should probably actually like go get a Red Baron pizza. That's
Yeah, I can't claim that it was the best medical advice, but when you were prescribed that Cookout, you were like, "Fucking God bless you, doc. God
it
bless
does well.
you."
There's something so cool though about like. So I mean, I didn't do athletics beyond like 14 years old, but like
Yeah.
whenever you're like a kid, like if you're like 12 and then you've just done like a baseball game or a football game or basketball, whatever you've done, and then at the end you're like, now we're gonna go to like CC's Pizza.
Oh, that was
when
the
you hit like some
greatest.
kind of buffet.
Yeah. That was the
Just
big.
And then
something
you and
that-
your friends are like, who can eat the most pizza? And it's like those little CC slices that are
Yeah.
like this big. So you're like, I ate 14, and then I had like the pizza desserts, You're like,
Oh,
and
bro, do
9
I know
cinnamon
about them.
rolls, and then you
Yes.
get like a suicide, like every drink at the thing.
Yes.
Dude, it was the shit.
Have you ever been to Round Table's buffet?
Yes. Yes.
Lunch buffet?
That was where all our
Oh,
like end of the
I've never
season
heard of
football
this.
things were
But
held.
you guys are Western.
Yeah, I
Round
mean,
people,
dude,
so-
it's CC's, it's macros, like it's just like it's slightly one little step above like Pizza Hut and like Domino's, like the super like basic, commercialized ones, but it's not high quality and it's just like cheap pizzas,
But it's
cheap
awesome.
drinks. They have a ton
It's
of
great.
cheap beer. They got games on for the parents. They give us like a banquet room. Kids go play in the casino. Your dad drives you drunk home a few hours later. Just like good fucking
It's
times.
American. Yeah, it's an American life.
American
like,
as
that's,
fuck,
That's
yeah.
what it's
We
about.
had a Pizza Hut buffet close to my house when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's
It's still there, but I don't know if it's a buffet by them anymore.
Yeah.
But my parents' house.
But
But like,
KFC buffets.
yeah, I used
What?
to go to a bunch.
There's KFC
Ah.
buffets?
There-
We drove
even-
by one in Anoka.
There's
We
not
stopped.
a lot of them. There's not like it's not like it's like they're a regional thing. Because even in the regions, there'll just be like one random one.
Yeah.
But there was a KFC buffet like 15 minutes from my house, and then I went for the first time when I was like 18 because
Yes.
like my buddy was like, hey, there's this one has with. So I went like, it's like it closed at like 2 and it was only like old people in there. But it fucking ruled, dude.
Is it just like what? All like popcorn, chicken, potato wedges?
It was a fairly limited thing. It was basically just like
chicken.
It was basically just like original recipe bone-in chicken.
Okay,
and then, And then like, but then the sides. So it was like potatoes and gravy and mac and cheese and like.
And their sides are the best thing.
Their sides are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So like, and then just piles of biscuits and shit. Like it was so fucking cool.
Fuck, damn,
dude.
boys.
Damn, dude, this is a horngry ass episode. Dude. We are horny.
So far,
for
we
food.
haven't mentioned anything else.
No, but I'm having the time of my life. I know, thinking of good, better places.
The thing is, this is all I ever want to talk about.
Yeah.
Usually, I just have to pretend when I'm talking with other people.
I'm glad you could be yourself on this podcast.
I feel the most locked in on this podcast than I have in a while. I'm not.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm so hungry right now. I literally was already like, all right. Who's on the lineup tonight at East Austin that can cover me at the door while I ride a scooter to get a Baconator from the Wendy's on the corner of 6? Like, that's happening tonight. It's 100% happening.
I always forget that weird Wendy's. It doesn't have a dining room.
It doesn't.
It's just like a walk up. You can walk up and order in that little thing, or it's just a drive through.
Did we talk on here about the homeless guy outside of it? I don't think so. Did we?
No.
We one night, dude. It's like 2:30 in the morning. We're leaving 6th Street. We're drunk. We're headed back to like whoever the DD's car under the bridge is, and we're walking up to the car, and we like look over at the Wendy's, and there's just like a long line, and there's like a homeless person like using like a fucking.
Originally, what we saw is a man kicking a rock.
Yeah, we're like, oh, this guy's just really stomping on this rock
What
like
is
a
this guy doing?
psychopath.
Like a
Like a
rock?
boulder,
a big boulder.
But then the boulder moved, and it was a homeless person. And we
what?
realized we were just watching this guy
Bro.
like beat the shit out of this, and we're like, kind of like, what the fuck? We're drunk. We're like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And he's like, boom, 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 and he kicks him, and then he runs, and we're like, oh, is this homeless guy beef? And then he gets in like a super nice car and just drives off from the Wendy's.
Some guy in a BMW gets out of his car to beat the shit out of a homeless man, and then gets back in his car.
The homeless guy was
and
sleeping.
He was sleeping.
He was sleeping, bro. And I have no idea what could have possessed this man to do it.
Was the guy okay?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't really do anything.
Here's the sad part is that we saw it all happen. It was just like across a busy street.
I feel like you guys are like telling me this story, and you're like, this guy was sleeping. I'm like, that guy was dead. Dude.
No, because he after was kind of like, what the fuck? Like, what just happened?
So he like wasn't dead.
No, yeah.
He
Because
was
I'm telling you, The
confirmed not
Rock,
dead.
like, we
Yeah.
were like, damn, that guy's kicking a rock. And then you watch The Rock, like
yes.
whoa, what the fuck? Like, get off me. And then the guy ran away, and I was
That's
just
insane,
like,
dude.
okay, all right, yeah. And that Wendy's is so hectic.
I feel like you guys changed the subject so hard from that Wendy's.
Honestly,
And then you're like,
sorry.
anyway, so that Wendy's is nuts, dude.
If that's just what that Wendy's makes me think of, it's not
Every time I think
Baconators.
of that Wendy's is
It's
yes.
beatings. There's handing out
Yeah.
homeless beatings to people.
I've only been through that Wendy's. I've been to that Wendy's once,
Yeah.
and there was a homeless guy. So like, there's like, you know how like the windows like kind of stick out from the rest of the building.
Yeah.
Like it's like
a
out
little
like
like
a foot or
service
something?
window pop up.
Yeah. There's a guy. There's a homeless guy like up next to the building, but and like pressed up in such a way that if you came out of the window, you would be like in front of him, so you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
So he's just standing there, and then like whenever like they'd hand you, I guess hoping like when they handed back people change, he'd be like, "Let me get that."
No.
He was like,
He was
and we
panhandling
paid with
the
a
Wendy's?
card. We paid with a card, and then
smart.
yeah, he was just like hiding so that they couldn't see him, but being like, "I know you got 14 cents right now."
This guy's awesome,
Yeah, he's
bro.
kind of a
It's clever.
genius. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
It happened to me one time. That's the worst thing though, is that when you fuck up and you pay with like cash. I say the worst. It sounds shitty to be like it's the worst thing when they know you got money. Like,
Yeah, but I know what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, I was at Diddy Dog, another downtown staple.
Great
Yeah, I
place.
love Diddy
Love Diddy Dog.
I was at Diddy Dog and I fucked up and I paid with a 20 like
Yeah.
like a while ago, and I paid with a 20 and they hand me like $14 whatever it was back.
Yeah.
So I have and like a lot of ones, you know.
Yeah.
So I turn around and because I think they were like, "Hey, is it okay? We don't have a 10. Is it okay if we give you a bunch of ones?"
Mhm.
So it was like a 5 and 9 $1 bills.
Yeah.
So I have a stack of cash. And he hands it back to me, and I turn around, and there are like 2 homeless people standing right there, like, "Hey, let me get some." Fuck. So I'm like, "All right, I'm giving each of you $1, and then you have to leave me alone." Like, okay.
I had that happen the other day. I was like downtown waiting for like an Uber Eats order, and I just pulled into like a private parking lot just to chill for like a second to wait for an order. And this homeless guy like knocks on my window, and I like crack my window down, and he's like, "Hey brother, they're gonna tow you if you park here. Parking's free on the street right now." And I was like, "Oh, thank you, man." He's like, "You got some money I could have, please?" And I was like, "You know what? You're actually giving out advice here."
Yeah,
I
dude.
handed him 4 quarters, and he dropped all of them under my car.
Oh no.
And I was just like, "Here, I'll move, and you can get him." And I pulled forward one spot, and he was getting on his hands and knees picking up quarters. I was like, "I feel like such a piece of shit." He dropped them though, bro.
But on the outside looking in, someone
yeah,
just
yeah.
saw you go, "Here you go, shithole." And
Yo, fucko, try these.
yeah.
Oh,
good
you like
Lord.
money? Go get it, dumbass.
I made him earn his quarters, dude.
Oh
I
my
don't give
God.
that shit away
No,
for free.
I do give homeless people money like fairly regularly. The thing is like I do it especially like when it feels like self-preservation because so like again to bring it back to local shit, parking under the bridge, you know, there's always the dudes who like try to like hold you up.
Yeah.
And usually I usually generally don't have like cash, and if I do, I don't have like ones. I'm not going to give you like a 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got change?
Yeah.
You got change for
You want
20?
me to pull out my
Yeah.
change purse and help you out here?
I'm a coin person.
Here's
toss it
3
over.
gold doubloons. Enjoy.
Yeah. 2 silvers for you, sir. But I was parked under there, and sometimes, especially if it's like a packed night, and then like I'll park, and if I park in a spot where, I mean, you guys know, like, so a lot of times you end up parking in spots that aren't spots.
Yeah, yeah. So like for people who aren't from Austin, there's like the 35 highway runs over this little parking thing. There's like a bridge where you can park under, and it's the technically the only free parking in like downtown.
It's not even
Austin.
technically supposed to be free.
No,
Oh,
it's
it's
There are
not?
signs saying that, but they removed. I think it maybe is now, but there are signs saying that you should pay on the app, and they used to have like the things that you can pay.
Yeah, now I think it just says like free public parking, but it only happened because it just got taken over by homeless people.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing, yeah, because I know like years ago, like forever ago, I was passing through Austin, and we had parked there, and you had to pay. But like, yeah, the thing is that there's always tons of homeless people pretending to be parking lot attendants.
They'll literally they will pick up like a green neon vest, put it on, and they will trick non-locals. And I've seen people
Yeah.
give them.
Yep.
He'll be like, "Hey man, you got to park here. It's like $20." And I've seen like people who barely speak English be like, "Oh, okay," and give
Yeah.
this guy like they're not from here. They're like, "This is how America
Yeah.
rehabilitates their homeless, is they make
Which
them
would
parking
be
attendants."
pretty cool. Actually,
It would be cool, yeah.
I mean, they've already got the job. We just have to make it official, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They but usually they're a lot of times they're like very aggressive down there, or like or it's like an empty lot and you're like, come on.
Yeah.
But this particular time, this guy legit did wave me over to be like, hey, you can fit your car into like, there are like spaces in the parking lot that are like
You're just
not
against the
spaces.
curb,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're just, but it's like, but you're totally out of the way and you could totally park there.
Yeah.
And he like waved me over and he was like, there's this spot, and I parked in there, and then I got it and I was like, all right, this dude legit did just help me out.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't ask for shit, but I
Yeah.
knew that he was just like banking on like maybe you could tell he wanted it, but he wasn't
Yeah.
wasn't pressing. And I gave him like $5 or $10 or something because I was also like he can't, because I was also like there's shit in my car and whatever and stuff here and it could get fucked with, and he was like I'm gonna for real watch your car tonight, and I was like I
Yeah.
was like hell yeah, dude. And it
Yeah.
was like sometimes like all right, that's cool. One
Yeah.
time I fucked up bad though and did the opposite thing. There was a guy who was like he was clearly like he was on some kind of uppers. I had seen him like
Yeah, there's there's literal shifts. They change. It is never one consistent dude under there, and they vary in like how friendly they are based on like when's
Yeah.
the last time they've done crack. Basically.
Yeah, there was a guy who I watched like become. I feel like I saw become homeless, and then like how that changed for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Like I saw him the first time when this dude, he was just like walking around down there. He was like totally put together, and then like him like a couple months later when he was like really aggressive and kind of disheveled, and he his thing was he would just like you could park on the lots when they were pretty much empty, and this dude would just zoom out from like wherever the fuck he was hiding.
Yeah.
And then he would be like very aggressively like, let me get blah, blah, blah. And this one night I parked there. I parked on the bridge, and it was kind of busy. And I park in there, and then I go about my thing. And he comes up and he's like, hey, that's $20. Or no, hey, I think he says, hey, that's $10. And I was like, oh, I don't have any cash, man. He was like, I could have gotten $20 from the other people. I was like, I don't know. So he was just like, hey, give me money. He's like, you can't just park here for that. And I was like, and I made the mistake of like engaging and trying to
yeah.
like provide a counterpoint.
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is just
yeah.
fucking stupid.
You just gotta walk away.
Yeah,
from
and
it.
I was like, well, I mean, you don't work here, so you can't really do that. He goes, I can do whatever the fuck I want, and I was like, and that's in the moment when you realize you're like, oh yeah, he can.
Yeah.
He has nothing else going on. This is his, and he follows me. He's like, go to the fucking ATM and give me money right now. And I was like, and I'm just kind of like, oh shit, I fucked up so bad.
Yeah.
And I'm just walking, and he follows me all the way to the creek. There's the creek, is the comedy club, creek in the creek. That's right by
There's
there
an
for people
ATM
to know.
like right by it too.
Yeah, and he follows me all the way, and he stops at the door, and I go in. But the whole time I was in there, like for like a couple hours or whatever, I'm thinking like, he fucking knows where my car is right there.
Yeah, he could just break into it and
my
fuck
window
with it
take
if he
all my
wants
shit.
to.
I had nothing in it, but I was like, he could just take a shit on the driver's seat and drive. Like, I don't know. But
I like some of the homeless people of Austin. Most of them scare me, but there's some like funny character. Like
there's
it
some
adds
characters,
character
yeah.
to the city. Going downtown and just dealing with
Ideally,
it's
it
also
would be
though
nice
right
to
now,
not.
it's not like it was a year ago.
Oh yeah, when we all like moved here, bro, before they passed the camping ban, it was fucking bananas downtown.
Yeah, like more than half of Under the Bridge was just tent city.
Yeah, people just living there. There's still a few tent. Like the other day I parked there and some guy was like,
Yeah.
I'll watch your car, and I was like, okay, and he's like, see, that's my tent right there. This is my area. I keep shit safe. And I was like, all right, dude, this is up. This is
You got a
up.
watchdog, huh?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
It's cool when it's like that, but yeah, sometimes whenever it just gets bleak, because like the thing is, like all of 7th became like that. Like the whole street was just like it was, because the thing I mean, obviously that's a shame and it's sad and whatever, and there's like it's an issue, but the problem is, for me, was that like it would get worm its way into my brain so much, because you're going to like comedy clubs or like you're like making light of everything and everything's silly and whatever, and it's also fucking like, you know what I mean? It's like everything you're doing is completely superfluous, and then you just walked past like human suffering to get there.
Dude,
like
yeah.
it's such a bummer to go through.
Oh yeah, I mean there'll be dudes just like passed out on the floor, clearly out of their mind on drugs, like just like truly passed out. They didn't lay down to sleep there; they passed out there, and it's so. I mean, I'll never understand why they were like, all right, 6th Street is our busiest tourist area. Let's build the homeless shelter 1 block up from it.
Well, I think the homeless shelter, I don't know how old it is, but I think that I don't think Dirty Six was like what Dirty Six is now.
When they
probably,
first
when they
built
did
it.
that.
Okay, that would make more sense. It gets chaotic down there sometimes. And yeah, like you said, it gets really sad. And like one of the prettiest areas of downtown Austin should be this creek that runs through the middle of it. There's a little river that
And there's
connects
like
to the
a river
big
walk
lake.
along it.
Yeah.
You think it
Yeah.
would be almost like San Antonio or something,
Yes.
but it's not.
Like we should literally like, because it's so close to the creek, I'm always like, this would be the coolest place to grab food from the food truck, sit and eat, hang out, like have a cigarette, smoke, whatever you want to do. Like, but literally, I'll never go down there. I've never been down there, and
I've been down there, and it's dicey sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not. It depends, but
Yeah.
it's a little bit like the bridge, in that sometimes you go there and there's a shit ton of tents and people like washing their clothes in the creek.
That's the wildest.
And,
Yeah.
But then other times it's empty. But the thing that's what, honestly, part of it is when there's no homeless people in it. That's almost makes me sadder, because I'm like, what the fuck did you do with them?
Yeah. Where did
Where
they
are
go? Yesterday they were all
Yeah,
here.
they were all here. What the fuck did you do to them?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. Well, when I lived in Colombia for a year, in Medellin, and they had this.
Wow.
They had the same. Any city has the same things.
Yeah.
But they were like, there wasn't. They were just open about rounding them up. It wasn't like a. It was crazy. So there was So they would all be like the city center, because that's where people were, walking around. So that's where you can panhandle and actually make money, because there's like pedestrian and specifically tourist pedestrian traffic. And they would round all of them up, and they would put them, and they would just truck them into like just a kind of a park, but what was almost more like a median. It was like, but it was this big grassy area where there was like a kind of clover leaf that came off like the highway.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes if it was like the it was either I don't remember if it was once a month or once a week, but like they would just go around with like essentially like paddy wagons loaded up with homeless people and be like, you guys are in here now. So then as the week went on, they all migrated back to the city center and they all rounded up. It was like every week they had this quest.
They just cleared them out like a street sweeper. Bro.
Yeah, and they'd put them all in
insane.
there. But if you went past that one little like tight little block, it was like holy fucking shit, because it was just like. They're like, what are you going to do? You already put us all here. We need to arrest every one of this. So there's just people just straight up smoking crack. So many people.
Oh, yeah.
It was
becomes
just
like Skid Row, basically.
Yeah,
Like
they just
made their
create this
own
little Skid Row that lasts for like 2 days until people move back out.
It's kind of cool. It's kind of like a festival. You know?
yeah.
Kind of like a
Drugs.
dude.
They
Yeah,
probably hear music.
Lots of
yeah.
tents. It was
yeah.
like
Oh, yeah.
Bonnaroo with no music.
That's fire, dude.
Woodstock
That's pretty
2023, dude.
Yeah,
Why were you in Medellin for a year?
I was there. I mean, I didn't have a good. My ex did like a Fulbright grant there. She did like a Fulbright scholar thing. So she
Yeah.
taught English at a college there.
Uh-huh.
I guess they would say university for like a year. And I was like fucking working at Starbucks or something beforehand.
Yeah.
And she was just like, "Do you want to come?" So I just found a job online that like didn't pay me much, but enough to live there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is it cheap to live there?
yeah, I mean it's not like insane, but it's
Right.
it's probably everything's probably like a third. I would say like on
Okay.
average, like what you would pay here, you probably pay like a third of that in rent
Yeah.
there.
That's not that bad.
What
yeah.
What did you guys do like on a day to day?
Was it
like,
Well, she
super
was teaching, so
dangerous
she was just
then?
going to school.
Yeah, like
It's like anywhere, like it's you have places that are and places that aren't, and you
Mhm.
just sort of know how to navigate it. And
Yeah.
I guess it's because like it's weird because as Americans we just see Colombia as like, oh, that's a drug cartel
Yeah,
area.
Pablo Escobar.
That's Pablo
all
Escobar.
you
Like
think
there's
about,
hippos running around murdering
Yeah,
people.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
drugs everywhere. That's all I think about when I think of
no,
Colombia.
yeah, I mean, that's so. Certainly, a lot of tourists think that, and a lot of in Medellin, certainly, so many of the locals, people think there's like this misconception that like, oh, they love him there because he was like there, he like brought, but no, that's not at all the
Yeah.
case, because they're like, people there are like, no, I've lost so much, like people with a lost family or whatever, like because of like essentially like narco wars that he like started, you know. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think
many
he's like,
civilians died.
and there's like I did a tour, like a walking tour of Medellin, and they like saw this stuff, and this guy who was there, who was like some drunk fucking European tourist guy, he's just like, what about the fucking cocaine? And then there's like everyone there, like the tour guide and everyone, was like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like it's like, yeah, there's cocaine here, we get it, but it's like in the cities there's a lot of other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then certainly there are other cities other cities that have a lot more of that activity. Like
Mhm.
Medellin, I don't think is one of the hot spots for it now. But
Yeah, isn't like Bogota really bad?
I think that they all have like barrios and stuff that are like rough.
Yeah, it's like the outskirts, and that's where he like Pablo was like more of a hero because they were like so poor he bought him stuff, and they were like, oh, that's cool, but it's not like. Then they were also recruiting all their kids. and
yeah.
shit.
So I think that there's like this weird
Yeah.
relationship where, like any mob thing, where it's like you'll
Yeah.
talk to somebody who like in just a normal gang neighborhood in the U.S. who is just like, oh, the OG of that gang was like, that's a solid ass dude. That dude bought me a car. And then
Yeah.
there's another dude who's just gonna be like, yeah, he killed my fucking brother, you piece of shit. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like, there's
yeah.
like,
Right.
it's like anything. It's like that's.
That's fair.
People
Did
are
you
gonna
have
have
any
different-
run-ins with any sort of like cartel or anything like that?
No, I mean, like, it was gonna be like, actually, yeah, dude.
I was at Wendy's at 4
gotta
a.m.
ask, you know? No, the only stuff got, for the most part, where I was always like because she was part of that program, and there was like enough of like an expat community there that like
Yeah.
it was easy to like know people. So I wasn't going a ton of places like alone any sketchy times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There would be times where you heard about people who were like, oh, this guy was like this whatever tourist was kidnapped and got like his bank account drained, and then and he was like returned and he was okay, but it was this whole thing. But every time you would hear those, I don't know about every, I mean, I'm not gonna say every time, but certainly it seemed like every time when I was down
Yeah.
there, you would hear those stories. It would be like, oh, this European tourist got kidnapped and all this stuff, and then you would look and you'd be like, oh, he was at some weird sketchy strip club that he was there because prostitution's legal there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
okay.
So it would be at he was like a fucking sex tourist in some
Yeah.
weird far out part of town
Yeah.
who had a million red flags every step of the way. You know what I mean? So it was like,
And he put himself in that situation.
yeah. So I was like, I'm not trying to do weird, sketchy shit. So weird, sketchy shit usually didn't happen to me.
Yeah,
That's
I feel
fair.
like that's kind of like how when people talk about Mexico right now, where they're like, "Oh my God, it's terrible for." It's only if you are doing dumb shit.
or in like the bad areas.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly,
Yeah,
yeah,
If
it's
you
like
go specifically, like, I wasn't in like. There are other people who go and they go to like resorty kind of places,
Yeah.
and that's one thing. But I was just in like this little neighborhood that was a lot of like. It was actually it was like my favorite place I've ever lived. Like
Oh, wow,
the
yeah.
neighborhood was like, is a neighborhood in Medellin called Carlos de Restrepo neighborhood. It was like so the whole city. The city's huge. The city's like 4.5 million people.
Oh,
Shit,
It's
yeah.
crazy dense. It's one of the densest populations in the world, mostly because not of the middle, but because of like it's like in a valley.
Yeah,
It's in a valley, and around it, because you're like in this like basin, the houses are like on top of each other. Like
yeah,
it's
like
just-
favela.
yeah, they're straight up built on top of each other.
Yeah.
Like,
I see, I
like
see.
your roof is the floor of the next house that's sort of like slanting up.
Oh shit.
And so those are so dense, but and some of them though are still nice. Like there's like this Comuna Trece, which is like this neighborhood where they had insane violence and stuff, and it was like sort of lifted out by becoming this like art area. So there's like all this really like amazing graffiti that's like those huge murals, and to make everything more accessible, because it's not built in such a way that you can just have roads easily go through it. There's
Yeah.
some, but there's some really small. They just built escalators.
Oh,
So you go and you just get on an escalator and you're just going up through this neighborhood, like this series of escalators.
that's hilarious.
like a mall neighborhood.
yeah,
yeah, fuck.
but you're just going on escalators through like the middle of all the shit. It's so
Yeah.
cool.
That's badass.
Yeah, it's really cool. So like those are insane. But where I was at was like this neighborhood where it was all these little like 3-story like apartment buildings, and they were all built around these series of like kind of squares, essentially like little parks, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like big tall trees around you everywhere. Like there was like a huge avocado tree outside my window. And then in the middle of the whole neighborhood there was like a little like a public sort of square. So there were a couple like a few restaurants, and there was like a bookstore and a coffee shop, and
Okay, so this
And-
is like a real nice.
yeah,
little
nice
area.
cool
Yeah.
neighborhood. And the
Yeah.
cool thing about Colombia is, I mean, they do have like a bar culture, but there's more of like rather than being like dive bars,
Yeah.
they'll have clubs, like a lot of like nightclubs, but rather than dive bars where people just kind of hang out and watch the game, there's just convenience stores that sell alcohol, and there aren't the rules against drinking on the street.
Yeah.
So they'll just have a TV out on the side, and they'll just put chairs outside, so people
Oh.
just it's just like old people and everyone just chilling. They just get a beer. They just like sit on the chairs and like watch a soccer game and hang out.
That sounds like
That's
so much
so
fun.
fucking
So
cool.
like on the weekends, like people, you just like go, you'd like grab like, oh, this place sells ice cream and this place like sells beer, and you just like hang out like in the park and chill and like hang out with everyone.
That's badass, dude. I love shit like that. The
Yeah.
different little cultural shit like that is
cool.
so cool to see, and like that's like the best part of traveling when you're like, damn, this is some like the most non-American ass
Yeah, it
shit I
changes
could
your
be doing.
perspective completely. Where you're like, wow, it doesn't have to be like this.
Yeah, bro. When I was in Korea, having to eat on the floor, like that
Yeah.
shit was crazy. Just
You
my
ate
bi-
on the floor?
bro. You had to sit crisscross applesauce, and the table was like yay high. Bro, I had
I'd
to
love
keep
to see your
standing up
big
because I
ass.
kept cramping, and they were all like laughing at me and shit. But like, it was so fun, and dude, they were like cooking for me, and like because it was like Korean barbecue style, but like a little different.
Yeah.
dude. The waitress came up and just like grabbed a bunch of food on my plate and made like a little hand roll and started feeding it in my mouth. It was like this, and I was like, this is so nice and like cool and different.
That's cool.
Yeah, they were like all that stuff's super cool when you go. Even like Mexico and California. Once you get through Tijuana, like you're in Rosarito, which is like just the most like touristy area. That shit's so fun. And as
Yeah.
long as you like stay in the main area of the city and like aren't going down alleys by yourself, I never felt unsafe once.
I will say, when I was in Colombia, we did primarily like, stay relatively safe, but there are a lot of things too that I think back now and I'm like, not that anything was like seedy or weird that we were doing. Like we were never
Yeah.
like doing anything sketchy, but we would be very trusting of a lot of things. Like,
Yeah.
like I did. Okay, so one time we went to La Guajira, which is like the the northernmost peninsula in South America.
Okay.
It's right at the border between Colombia and Venezuela.
Okay.
And it's desert. And the people who are there who live there, they don't speak Spanish. They're native. They speak Wayu. It's like the native language.
Oh shit.
I mean, there's some of them speak Spanish too, but like.
But yeah, you're
it's
not getting like English signs with people
Yeah.
speaking broken English. Like
no,
none of that.
It's not that at all.
Holy shit.
And to
They're
get
speaking
there,
broken Spanish.
Yeah, and to
Yeah.
get there, and part of this was because my ex was like a much more like seasoned traveler. She would just let's just go fucking do it and do all
Yeah.
kinds of crazy shit. And like, we took we flew. It was insane to get there. We flew to Santa Marta, which is like on the Caribbean coast, and then from Santa Marta we took a bus as far as we could go into La Guajira. And then so you're in like this like little nothing town, which is like so. Colombia is also so geographically diverse. There's like it's like where you have mountain places like Medellin or Bogota, and then there are all these like coastal cities, which have this insane difference because the mountain towns, it's like the food that you're getting is this basic fried shit because you're in like this isolated area.
Yeah.
And then you have these seafood towns, and then also the ethnic makeup. You're like in the mountain towns, it's like mostly like people who are pretty much white. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
Then, and then the coastal areas, everyone's black because it's like Caribbean.
Yeah. Wow.
And then so we take this all the way the fuck out there. So we're like in the middle of nowhere. And then from there, once the buses won't go any further because there are no more roads,
yeah.
you get in just a Jeep. There's a
The
few you
fuck
can
is that?
just get in or like a Land Rover.
Oh
A few
shit.
guys-
Oh,
and he
Jeep,
just
a
drives
Jeep.
your
Yeah.
ass like 2.5 hours into the desert until you get all the way to the tip. So you're just driving through nothing. There's nothing. You're just there's nothing any direction. You're just a
Holy
fucking desert.
shit. Yeah.
You get all the way until you get to the like right there, like on the beach, basically. So you're in like we just slept, and there's like an industry built around it. So it's not like we were just randomly doing this.
Yeah.
But it's so small. It's like so we just stayed in hammocks. And like there's like little shack on the
Outside?
beach. Yeah, it's like a little like shack on the beach essentially, and then they just have hammocks that you can stay in and pay them like whatever like $5 for staying on for that. or
Yeah.
something. And then they have like a couple little restaurants there, and the restaurants will just be like, yeah, we serve like lobster that's caught here, and it kind of sucks. And there's also like. But it's cool because you're like kind of,
Yeah.
but you've just been like here all day. I don't know. And like there's sort of like locally caught things or like goat because because the goat could walk around and like eat tumbleweeds and shit. That's,
Oh,
like,
shit,
So
yeah.
like there was like that kind of stuff.
Wow.
It was really cool, but that was the parts where I can see how this could go south because we are at those points. It's very cool and very cool to see something very different. But there's a point when you feel like you're doing like because there would be like kids that would come up and just beg you for like money to get like candy.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Those I
And-
hate that shit.
And that because at a certain point you do feel a little bit like you're doing like a poverty tour.
yeah.
You know
You're
what I mean?
just
You don't want
going-
to. It's
yeah.
weird going somewhere and being like, oh man, I have like. Even at the time, like I had no good job. I had not a lot of money, but I was like, I have more money than
You're
all these
rich.
people combined.
For these people. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like it's just a weird thing to be like. It's really cool, and it's from a natural perspective, like just a nature perspective rather. It's beautiful because like, you're staying on a beach that's desert and then just the ocean, and there's no one there, and it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But you're like, it feels like almost like exploitative, I guess. It's a
Yeah,
weird
because
thing.
like one of the reasons you're coming there is you're like it's cheap, and
Yeah.
and we can eat like kings. And
Yeah,
live
the
there,
only
yeah.
reason that's the case is because of fucked up deals that your ancestors made with them,
I'll never forget when I was crossing the border of Mexico. There was like a guy who was like, "Do you want this guitar? $25." And we were like, "Nah." And he was like, $20. And we were like, "Nah, man." And then like my friend was like, "What about $5?" And he was like, "Okay, I'll do $5." And he was
my
like,
God.
and he goes, "Actually, I'm good." And the guy goes, "You know what? $1, you take it." And I was like, "Bro, this is sad." And then we said no, and the guy was like, "You know what? You buy blanket, I just give you guitar." And we were like, "Dude, no. Like this
Wow.
is like
Wow, he was trying to make a deal though.
yeah, he was just trying to make a deal." But then that's where you feel like you're like we're
oh,
That's why Colombia's so spread out that felt like that there.
Yeah.
But but then in the city, like, it was just like, for the
Normal
most part,
life.
I wasn't seeing like levels of poverty that I was like, oh, holy shit. Like, I mean, you would in some occasionally, but 99% of the time, I was just seeing like normal life. But then when I would just be reminded of like, oh, like my money is worth 3 times what theirs is, like if I convert it.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? But still, I was like, oh, if you just go there and you have a normal job and you live a normal life,
Sure,
like
yeah.
you're gonna be fine.
Yeah. No, that's a fucking cool experience. You guys want to do some would you rather's before we wrap it up here?
Yeah.
All right, hell yeah. Did you bring it? Dale said you brought one. Do you have a would you rather?
Yeah.
All right, I want to hear it. We'll start with
All
yours.
right. It's okay. So these are for every time you have to meet somebody new for the first time. So would you rather every time you meet someone for the first time, you have to do an Austin Powers voice?
Like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, you have to do it.
Okay.
It's the rules. It doesn't matter if you're like, this is the most beautiful girl I've ever seen. You're just
Yeah,
like,
okay,
you're just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
oh, behave. You know, like,
yeah.
fuck.
Like you're meeting Joe Rogan
yeah,
and you gotta talk to him like
it's the
that.
rules. You have to do it.
Behave, Joe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you have to do that. Or you have to both tell them your sign and ask them what theirs is for compatibility.
Oof.
Oh,
Oof.
God, dude. Okay, so real quick, because, all right, so am I allowed to, I'm assuming we can't really explain our way out of either
No.
of these. Okay, let's
This is-
remove
yeah.
that then. You can't, no
That just has to be
explanation.
who you are to
You
this
have
person.
to just, like, and you gotta just look them in the face and do it.
You
God.
gotta face it. Yeah. I'll be
Oh.
honest. I think that
This is a good one, dude.
yeah, the Austin Powers one might just be funny enough.
You can get away with it, yeah.
right. Someone's just like, that guy's so quirky.
But also,
and funny.
also
Like,
this,
what's wrong with him?
Dale, a couple years from now,
Yeah.
like you're invited to like a family member's funeral or like or your girlfriend's funeral, like her mom,
Meeting her parents,
her grandma's funeral, and you're
yeah.
meeting them or like family members or something. Like, oh, behave, baby!
Yeah.
Everyone's crying.
You
and
have
shit.
to. Yeah, because you're imagining just meeting people at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, that's okay.
You're right. I'm like meeting
You-
her fucking grandfather.
Yeah.
Whose
Well,
wife
also-
You
just
might be like
died.
on trial,
Oh,
and the
whoa.
lawyer is like comes up to you, and like
Yeah.
the whole jury's looking at you, and you're just like, "I'm very randy right now." Ah, fuck! You know, like,
Oh, damn. Yeah, okay.
Wow.
But then also, like, it's just as crazy to imagine if, like, imagine.
somebody's on trial for like they're like accused of like sexual assault. And
Yeah.
they're just like, well, I'm a Pisces. So like,
Excuse me?
You know.
Imagine, like, someone running up to you in the streets, like, a ninja, like, please help me, call 911, this man's trying to murder me. And you're like, are you a Leo, baby?
But let's be real, because one of those things no one does. No one introduces themselves as Austin Powers.
You're right.
they don't have
yeah.
to. And you don't have to
People
introduce yourself
do-
as Austin Powers. You just have to within the first
Yeah.
interaction do an Austin Powers
Sure.
impression.
And here's the thing. We're getting, as the more we get older and older, less people have seen Austin Powers.
That's
like,
true.
Erica's never
That's-
seen Austin Powers. Like,
Shame.
I've only
Yeah.
seen the second Austin Powers. Like, there's
Yeah, I'm a
people who
little
have
older
not-
than you guys. I think
Yeah.
I think that people so I'm 31. I was right at the age like when I was a kid. Like the first one came out when I was like 5 or something or 6.
Yeah.
And then so I saw the third one like in theaters with my dad. Like they were like
Yeah.
they were like fucking huge, dude.
Yes, yeah.
And so they were imagining like what Borat. Like they were the same thing where like it's like the
That's
it
like
took
Borat
over
for
the
our
world.
gen, Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. Because
But versus though I think Borat has more staying power though because Austin Powers is like if somebody went up and did a straight up like yeah baby to me, I would be so uncomfortable. Like it would make my skin crawl.
yeah, what if someone went very nice?
Yeah,
Like,
but
yeah.
but if someone's talking about their wife and a guy from the other side of the room goes just like my wife, I'm just like that's awesome, dude.
yeah.
You're such a funny guy.
Ah, shit, you're right. Yeah,
I know.
and also like because some people are just gonna be like, why is this guy doing a weird?
Because Borat's
Scottish
come back around. Everyone like yeah.
And also, if you don't know Borat and everyone else does, you feel weird. But if you don't know Austin Powers and everyone else does, you're like, all right, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't feel
Yeah.
weird about it, you know?
And that isn't to say that I mean I think Mike Myers rules. I think
Yeah,
both
I
of
love
these things are cool. I
Yeah.
just think doing the accent. It's like same thing when I hear someone do a Cartman voice. I'm just like stop it.
Yeah, you're
You
right.
this fucking I hate it. It makes me
Also, realistically, like Dale was saying, if you're thinking of it in like aspects of meeting strangers and people at the bar, there's gonna be women that you go up to and you're like, what's your sign? And they're like, I fucking want this guy right
Yes.
now. Like,
That's
people,
true.
like, especially right now.
I've had women do
so
this to me.
Grown men care
women
about
can
it, bro.
do it better, more though. Like,
Women
get a-
have done this to me where they're like, I feel like you're a Taurus, I'm a Leo. And you're like, bitch,
Sure.
yeah. Oh my God, you aced it. That's crazy.
Whatever you
Hello.
want. Yeah.
He sounds like, I guess he's like he's Australian in this.
Hello.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with the Pisces, the saying the
Introduce
signs
yourself,
and doing that type of shit and like
I have to. 'Cause
you're a little more acceptable than doing the accent, just a little bit more
Yeah.
socially.
But that's the thing though, is that so with the one thing for me that I would agree, except I can't tell because the thing that for me kills it is that if you do the Austin Powers voice, people are like, this guy's just a crazy guy doing an Austin Powers voice.
Right.
And it's weird, but it's like a strange comedic choice he's made.
Yes.
Versus if you are doing like if you were just like the Zodiac guy, like
You're an
doing
asshole.
And you're
they're just
genuine.
like this guy just really fully believes in
Nonsense,
like,
basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this guy is just like kind of just a dipshit.
You are right. Yeah, I guess you look down like
So yeah, you're like it's just different. It's like, do you want to be like a guy who is just weird?
Yeah.
And like kind of like cringy, or do you want to be a guy who is just lame as fuck?
he means insufferable at
Yeah.
times.
But here's
yeah.
the thing: is that your success rate with one of them.
You're
is better.
only
Yeah,
thinking about talking to women though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
there's that.
I mean, actually, yeah. I cannot imagine.
I've never
another
spoken
man.
to a man for the first time.
I mean, yeah, because even imagine going on stage. You're technically meeting the crowd for the first time.
Oh my god, yeah.
If you go on and you're like, "Hey, baby," they're like, "Oh, he's Austin Powers." But imagine you walk out, you're like, "Yo, Creek in the Cave, how are we doing tonight?" Hey, Pisces, I'm a Leo. Everyone will be like, "Fuck this guy."
I love the idea though of if you like doing like crowd work,
Yeah.
you have to do an Austin Powers voice every time. So like you're doing,
Every
you're up
oh
there,
my
you're
God,
doing
yeah.
45 minutes. You
Yeah.
come up, the first thing that you do is you do your Austin Powers voice. Be like, that was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then you just keep it. You're like, hey, what's up, dude? How we doing? Oh yeah. And everyone's just like, oh, what the hell? Why does he
Yeah.
keep just sneaking these in?
Just different little quotes, like you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like when people's like, "Do you really
Start
do
throwing
that?"
people. Yeah, it could be other people in Austin Powers. You throw someone with like a "get in my belly" kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Get
in my belly.
Yeah, and they're just like,
Yeah.
Jesus, this guy
If,
really
actually,
loves it.
if I could do fat bastard every single time I meet someone, I'm in. I'm so in.
All right, then you got it. You
Yeah,
nailed it.
yeah.
I think there's something just hilarious about pretending to be a person who's like trapped in time.
Yeah,
Because that guy, I mean, fucking 20 years ago, there absolutely were people who, for real, did. If the way their icebreaker was like, I'm gonna hit him with a joke, probably an Austin Powers voice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
They'd
that
ask
was
him
a
to
guy.
shag, like,
those
yeah.
people existed, and I love the
Shag
idea.
now or shag later?
yeah.
It's also funny. I forget that British people really say shag.
Yeah, we watch a lot of Love Island UK, so
Yeah.
we're obsessed with the weird British like sayings and shit.
Their
like
slang is
they call flirting banter. Like he's got good banter, and that means like you got good back and forth. If you get like
Good
I mean,
chat.
that's also what banter means here.
yeah, but they use it like we don't. No one
We don't
says
use it as flirting.
because
yeah.
they'll say like if
He was bantering with that girl. I'd be like, oh, this guy, they have like a good shtick. Like, what
Yeah.
Yeah, because they'll also do where like like if you're getting like did dirty, like your girl's like dirty macking in front of you or whatever we say here, they'll say mugged off. They'll be like,
Yeah.
I feel proper mugged off, which means like you feel
beautiful.
disrespect. Like
Yeah.
you show up to the club and your girl's grinding on another man, mugged off.
She just
and I
mug-
like
she
that.
made a mug of me.
Yeah, a proper
Yeah.
mug.
Proper
Okay.
mugged me off.
What's
She-
another good one that they say?
The
What's
fit
it?
birds.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You're
she's a
mad
proper fit bird.
Oh, that
I
bird
love
is
that. I
mad
love
fit.
calling women birds.
Yeah.
And
And they
the
like
fit,
it there,
the
though,
fit
yeah.
thing is weird though, because the thing about the fit thing is it makes me think that they're just like all fat people are ugly.
Yeah, like
you know what I
imagine
mean?
going to a
'Cause
busty
fit-
girl. You're mad fit, babe.
Yeah, it's like fit seems so specifically like your physical conditioning in my mind, but I guess it doesn't to them. I
Yeah,
don't
they
know.
eat beans for breakfast. Fuck them. It doesn't make sense. You know, they're just silly little people over there.
You
All
got
right,
any other? What'd you say?
I got one. Would you guys rather have Bugs Bunny or Scooby Doo as a pet?
Ooh.
See, because right away, I mean, first off, I look and live like Shaggy, so I guess Scooby Doo is a slightly easier one. But
Sure.
Bugs Bunny is like a more. My immediate thought was
Bugs
Bugs Bunny.
Bunny
He's
gets bitches.
sophisticated, gets bitches. He could help you pull schemes like.
Yeah, but he also would scheme you.
Yeah, he's also
an
kind of
asshole.
he's a
Yeah.
cunt like that, where he would just be like, he would be pulling shit on you.
I'm going
all
home
day.
with both of these girls. Later, Doc, and then he'd just like dip out on you.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
he'd swoop and steal on you.
Absolutely, he's smarter than us.
Yeah, Scooby is cool, and he would like want to like be down to go get food.
Yeah, he'd be
He's
to
like-
circle back around. He'd go to cookout.
All
with us at
Scoob
4
like
in the
his
morning.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
canonically he just smokes weed and eats food all day.
Yeah.
So he's probably just
Kind of the
he'd probably
coolest
really
dog.
cool.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of
It's
what
kind
a
of
dog
just what a
does,
regular
just
dog,
sleep
I
and
guess,
eat.
yeah.
Yeah.
But he can talk to you too.
Yeah, that's
He's
the thing.
just
he
doing
can
what a
talk.
regular dog already does. That's awesome. Plus he can like talk to you.
Yeah.
That's fair,
In
yeah.
a silly little accent.
Bugs
Yeah.
Bunny can play
Yeah.
basketball though. If
True.
you need a fifth
True.
ever on the court,
I bet. Well, there were those old like 70s Globetrotter episodes of Scooby Doo. Does Scooby play basketball during those?
I don't know.
Because he might, and if he does,
I mean, Scooby solves if he can solve mysteries, he can dribble a basketball.
Yeah,
I think he sometimes. I'm sure there's been an episode or two where he's driven the mystery machine.
that's true. Yeah, we might just be selling him short. He might just have never been required to show off all of his skills.
Yeah, he actually has a CDL permit. He can operate a truck. Like.
Yeah, I think that I'm gonna go with Scooby on this.
Yo, Scooby, I'm fucked up. You gotta take us out. Ruh-roh.
Also, I feel like Scooby
What roll we're getting pulled over?
Scooby is simultaneously smart, but like in a way that you wouldn't feel horrible if you were like, I gotta go do stuff. You just have to chill at home all day.
Yeah.
But Bugs Bunny just feels like a guy.
He'd guilt you.
He's
into
just
it,
like
yeah.
he'd be. I feel like he couldn't be a pet. He's just a prisoner.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Scooby Doo would get behind the wheel for you if you got in like a drunk driving accident. Like that's a good friend. You'd be like Scooby, you gotta get behind the wheel. Like,
Bugs
okay.
Bunny would get you drunk so that you get a DUI.
Bugs Bunny would call. We'd be like, "Who you on the phone with?" And he'd be like, "No big deal." I'd be like, "We're in a white Mazda," and he'd be calling in the police report on you. Yeah, Bugs Bunny's just kind of a dick. Like he doesn't seem loyal. Like because Daffy Duck is kind of his friend, and he's a dick to Daffy. He's not really nice.
Yeah,
to
he's a dick
anyone.
to all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of just too cool for school for every
He
single
did bag
character.
Lola Bunny though, and he has to have incredible riz that I need to learn.
Or
from
he has
him.
to be the only other rabbit. It's not like there was a ton of competition.
Don't take down my hero like that, man.
Oh, fuck.
It's one of those last man on earth situations. I think.
So you guys, I think we're all going with Scoobert Doobert as our choice, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
What if you had to? What if it was Bugs Bunny and Scrappy Doo? 'Cause Scrappy Doo's a little cunt.
Yeah, I would absolutely not do Scrappy. Well, yeah, I wouldn't do Scrappy because Scrappy also talks totally normal, so he goes back to that. Just feels like a guy.
He talks like this.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, he talks.
He's
but I mean,
annoying.
like he doesn't like have like a dopey voice. He just has like
right,
an annoying accent.
Oh, you just want to hang out with an idiot? Is like
No,
you want-
he doesn't seem chill. Like Bugs is Scrappy also is like he's like up to no good.
What if
He's
we
kinda-
lobotomized Bugs Bunny? So he's like Scooby Doo. What's up, Doc? And he just is wet brained as
It's just
fuck.
like Bugs Bunny on ketamine all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I got
That'd be
no.
cool.
I'm going with Scoober Doober. No,
Gotta do
Scooby-Doo
Scooby.
is
no
great.
questions asked. All right, I got a few more, but we'll pick one more and wrap it up. All right, would you rather be 6'4" and 350 pounds, or 5'2" and 110 pounds? Because like you're either big and large or like so tiny and scrawny. Like and 5'2", 110, you are gonna like.
That's
You
a
are
tough
you are going to
situation
be
there.
bullied by every man you meet for the rest of your life is going to be like, look how tiny you are. I watch,
You said 6'4", 350.
yeah, which is like,
You're
I mean, you're
you're
fat.
fat.
Like that's a huge, that's
I mean,
the size
it's
of an
like
NFL lineman.
Yeah, I mean that's half my family.
Yeah, yeah. And
I'm
we're
like
and
the thinnest man in my family by at least like 75 pounds.
good for you, man. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
it's-
Listen, you're only a few more
They're-
cookout
they're a-
trays
they're
away.
They're a big folk.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm familiar with 6'4", 350. I'm around that.
I if I'm being like, what are the things I need in life? I'll need like, to
A
get
step
some.
stool,
Oh my god.
a weight vest for when it's windy, a reflector vest to scare hawks
Do you know
away. The
who's-
ones with
do
the
you know-
spikes like the dogs.
Do you know who's 5'2"?
Who?
The guitarist for AC/DC, Angus Young.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
No,
the one who
way.
wears the shorts and
Yeah.
he's supposedly 5'2".
Really?
I could be like wrong, but
I'm gonna
I don't
look that
want
up while
to
you
be.
guys argue.
Also,
this
I didn't know this. I don't know why.
I know for a fact he's tiny though. I
He's
don't. He
tiny?
maybe
Dude,
he's like 5'4".
Prince the other day, if you look at Prince next to other people, it's the funniest shit.
He's tiny.
He's so
And he wore those
so
big high heels,
small.
but he's the cool. I think Prince is like the greatest of all time. I love Prince.
Yeah.
And
oh, bro, he is 5'2".
yeah,
What's
dude.
his name? What's his name?
Angus Young.
Angus Young.
I'm gonna see if I can find any like pictures
From
of him next to
AC/DC?
people where you can see. I mean, this is him next to a
Oh
woman.
my god.
Like, I mean,
Jesus
and
Christ.
I mean, she
looks-
doesn't look like. I mean, if he's 5'2", that's only a 5'6" woman.
He's
Yeah,
also
like, that's-
really small. Like
So
just-
I'm saying he might be 5'2", 110.
he looks like a doll.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder if
So
I can
and
find
he's
his
he's
weight.
cool. So I'd be him, I guess.
You be him?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
also I'm thinking about one thing though, where I'm like,
He's 61 kilograms. There's 2.2 pounds in a kilogram, so
Yeah,
he's like
so he's-
130 pounds.
yeah, but that's also him. At 70
Old and
years
fat.
old.
Yeah, he's 68.
He was
yeah,
probably
so he's
when he was
old
in
as
shape,
shit.
he was probably 110. We're talking yeah.
I think though of like Galen Nash, good friend of mine. He's like 5'7", 130, and people ridicule him for how like tiny he is. Bro, minus 5 inches and 20 pounds.
Yeah,
like,
But the reason I'm thinking of this though is that okay, if you can own it in a way that you're like
Yeah.
Angus Young, that's one thing. But the reason I'm looking for reasons to choose the smaller option is because the world will fit you better.
listen, I'm 6'3". Wish I was 6 foot. Like at this point now, I have a girlfriend. I've finished sports. Like there's no cool things about being tall. I don't fit in airplanes good.
Yes.
Long sleeve T-shirts are always too short on the arms but long enough on the body. Pants are weird. Then like trying to find a 34-30, like just where the length is longer than the waist. Like all that shit is so annoying. And then also like. Dude, I mean, at 350, you're gonna have health issues. Your
Yeah, so
bones
the
are
350
gonna
is more the
hurt.
thing that I'm thinking about because it's like I'm 6'2", 6'4" is bigger, but it's not that crazy much that much
Yeah.
taller.
But being 100 and
I'd be
something
100
Yeah,
and-
but,
I'd be
but
150
a
pounds heavier.
adding like 140 pounds to it sounds fucking awful.
Yeah, it's like you said. Once you get over the pride, I mean, bro, you could probably shop in the kids section. You can get a kids jersey.
That's what I'm saying. Is that
you get
yeah,
all the
yeah,
women's
exactly.
shoe
yeah,
sizes?
They make
yeah.
shoes your
Oh
size. They
my
just might not be in the
God.
section you want to go to.
Yeah. If
Yeah,
I could
once
buy
you're right.
used
Once you
Jordans
swallow
all the
the
time,
You know how
Pride?
cheap they would be too?
Yeah,
So
like
cheap.
$80 Jordans or those
Yeah.
that are normally $150. You get all the women's colorways that they don't make it for men. Like you fit in everything nicely.
Do you
like,
guys know? I mean, this is different. He's not just short; he's a dwarf. But do you know? Adam Gilbert is a comedian.
No.
He's super fucking funny. He was on New Faces last year.
Yeah.
And he has this. He talks about is Adam. He's like 2 feet tall. He's tiny man.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I mean, I don't know his exact type, but he's like
Yeah.
extremely small. And he the way he talks about he talks about if he was brought in as like a hilarious witness in a case, like on he said he says like the defense would like to question Little Stinker, and he goes out there and he like has this whole thing. It's so funny, dude. He's very funny.
That's so
And
fun.
I just think about him like he seems. I mean, he's half the size of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And he seems to own it in a way that you're like, this dude fucking rules.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say, just because I'm playing devil's advocate, this is gonna come across a little crazy, but like he falls into the spectrum of what you're not allowed to make fun of because it's a disability at that point. 5'2", you're not short. You're tall enough where people are
Right.
gonna be like, "What the fuck is up with you?" But
yeah,
again,
but you
it's
know what
just
though? I
pride
feel like
thing.
5'2" is almost so short that you're not even allowed to make fun of it anymore.
I
Because I
guess
feel like
you're
if you're
right,
like
dude.
5'5"
If I saw
and above,
5'2", dude, I would not mention it. Actually, to be honest, my girlfriend's parents, she's 5'1", her mom's 5'3", and her dad is 5'2". And I'm completely forgetting that I know a 5'2" man, and that is like the one thing that I will never bring up.
But at the same time, like I feel like being that, like what we're talking about, and being a
He might be
comedian.
5'4". I don't know. He's tiny.
Yeah, but I feel like
Sorry if
being
he's listening.
I feel like being a comedian would make that easier.
Because being small is already kind of silly.
Yeah, right. You're
and
gonna
also-
build just good roasts and rebuttals and
Yeah,
comebacks.
you're gonna be more. It's like a regular person. Like people don't talk about your obvious shortcomings all the
Yeah.
time, but as a comedian, like people do it so much that you would
Yeah.
just be like, you. It could also go the opposite way, I guess. But in my mind, I would think that you would be better at dealing with it, or just be like, Yeah, I fucking know.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be
Yeah.
like no one would be able to remind you about it. It's like, yeah, I'm fucking short. I get it. And also, it'd become one of those things that's hack. You know what I mean? It's like
You're like, oh, that's not the first time I fucking heard that one. Like,
Yeah.
you would have been through the.
I say
gamut.
that, but at the same time, like when a fat, when
Same
you
with the
was
fat
a fat
person.
person, you're just like you're fat, and everyone's like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, I get you. I guess honestly, I'm gonna go with the tiny, less weight one, just so I don't have health issues. I fit in things better.
yeah, you could get like a basement apartment for cheap.
Yeah. You're thinking of all the yeah.
Yeah, okay, so
smart
you're-
cars like a limo to
Yeah,
you.
you could turn this regular size place into 2 stories. Like it would be great.
Yeah, man, yeah. You're thinking of all the right
Yeah.
angles on this.
There was that movie Downsizing, that Matt Damon movie.
But
where
that movie blows.
It does,
dick.
but the point was like, what if you made
Kind
people
of smart.
Yeah, I like the
great concept.
I like the concept.
Terrible movie.
But yeah, they're like you
happy
make
fuck, sad fuck. That
Yeah.
part of the movie's unbearable, bro.
yeah, you make him so yeah. Also, that actress doesn't have an accent.
Oh, that makes it way worse.
Yeah, it was very
Because it's
weird.
like it would be if you were like,
Because
hey
the
Brandon,
whole time
can
I
you do
was
a
like, I
racist
like a
Asian
lot of
accent?
parts of this movie, but this character is very one-dimensional and she doesn't have an accent.
Ooh.
It was
Now
weird.
I want to watch it again, knowing that.
Yeah,
There's a character.
There's
that,
like an Asian girl who she's like
she's like very over the top accent.
oh hello, like literally like the scene I was quoting is like he has sex with her at one point. She goes, happy fuck or sad fuck. Like it's
very
so
over the top. And then
crazy
later
that
she
I
doesn't-
literally
that's
thought
not
she
her
was
accent.
like learned English for this role.
and then they just go cut, and she's like, "Was that okay?"
yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, how was that one? Yeah, like she's an Asian from Louisiana or something. Yeah.
It's, I mean,
Creole Asian.
I think there were a lot of things about that movie that were almost really good, but it
Yeah,
didn't.
they just
didn't
messed.
come together.
Just
yeah.
messed.
But in the movie, the point of it being like, what if we were tiny? It would just be because like if you're doing jobs that only involve your brain,
Mm-hmm.
and that doesn't get impacted by becoming tiny, which
Why
I
not?
guess it actually would probably. But like that idea is interesting. You're like, oh yeah, they're just
Yeah.
small.
No, I was so excited to see the movie because the concept was cool, but it just ended up not being a great movie. This was a super fun pod. This shit flew
Yeah.
by. Thank you for
Yeah, dude,
doing it. I want to
thanks for
give you a
having
minute
me.
to plug anything if you want. The floor is yours and all that.
Watch TV sketch show.
Yes,
and
it's
follow
great.
me at Nick Cox Comedy.
Yep, everything will be in the bio if you guys want to check it out. Again, check out me and Dale's show every Thursday, except the third Thursday at Austin Beer Gardens Brewing.
on West Oldorf.
And then if you're in Austin, or Rocky's Piano Bar every Wednesday. And then we'll be follow us on Instagram. All our shit's in the bio. You can find our dates, anything like that. Other than that, guys, you want to do it this week, Dale? It's episode 144.
What am I doing?
The outro.
Oh, I forgot the outro.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to the podcast. Whether this is your first time or your 144th time, I appreciate you. But most importantly, thank you for letting us be your last resort. See ya.
Yeah, check it out now. It's like this Shaw, it's like that Anna. It's like this Shaw, it's like that Anna, like that. Check it out now, check it out. Hey, yo, this one right here is about a girl. And you've seen this girl before if you've been to any club in the whole wide world. Check it out. Her nickname's Last Resort.